Compliance is very important in day-to-day life nowadays. It's a necessary for everyone. So let's talk about an important compliance term known as ISO 27001, in which we have an important control known as teleworking. So what is teleworking? Teleworking is nothing but employees perform their duties other than office, like they perform it elsewhere by not attending the office. So teleworking control is very important in day-to-day life today because most of the employees are working from home. As you know, the home network which you are using, it's not safe. It can be prone to many attackers. To save yourself from the intruders, all the teleworking policies should be implemented regularly and checked on regular basis. So that's where BizzSecure comes in. You can keep a check on all the policies you have implemented, and you can even keep a check on which all policies you have not implemented. So let me give you guys a demo on how to use the platform. First, you just need to sign in using your credentials. So I'm just signing in right now. It has two-factor authentication enabled in it. So you need to just put your code in it and verify your code. So you're logged in successfully. So after logging in, you can see this interface. This dashboard consists of all the GRC lifecycle. The first option is users. You can add the number of users as required for your purpose. For right now, I've just added myself, and the role assigned to me is the client admin. So after assigning the user, you go to the policy and control management section. In policy and control management section, there are various things like you can choose the compliance, you can see the category, you can see like view the policy, like you can view policy and the procedure documentation. You can also see the policy and question in this. So for the time being, we'll select ISO 27001 and NIST 80053 compliance standard. As you can see, there are many standards: CCPA and GDPR, HIPAA or HITECH, ISO 27001, NIST 80053, or PCI DSS. So we've selected ISO 27001 and NIST 80053 compliance standard. So after checking the two compliance standards, let's come to the control. In ISO 27001, there are way too much of controls, and in NIST 80053, even it consists of many controls. So for time being, we'll just use teleworking. See, you can check teleworking. Once you check teleworking, it automatically get maps to the NIST 80053. See, every compliance standard can consist of same control. So you may not know if ISO has a teleworking or NIST has a teleworking control. So once you choose teleworking in ISO 27001, it automatically gets mapped with the NIST control, which is AC17 remote access. So this is the control. This control can be only understood by the compliance experts. So what about other employees in the organization? That's where category comes in. See, after you choose teleworking, it's automatically mapped with access control for the main document, and in the main title, it's mapped with remote access and mobile computing, and in subtitle, it's mapped with remote access servers, access and authentication, and remote access equipment. So what if a normal employee in the company who doesn't know what this teleworking is? He can always check the boxes in this, like this boxes consist of general English terms which can be easily understood by all the people. He can always check the access, like he can always click on the access control. See, if I click on the access control, it automatically maps to teleworking. You click on the save button so that all your progress is saved. So this just talks about all the controls and categories. What about the policies? So then that's where you click on the get policy and question. So after clicking on get policy and question, you get all the list of policies which are present in teleworking. At first, you can select inactive all. All the policies are inactive. Like for example, if you have the remote access server and device security policy implemented in your organization, you can check mark, you can make it active. For example, if you don't have remote access server isolation in your company or organization, you can keep it unmarked or inactive. So as similar, if you have remote access server placement, you can click it to active. If you have remote access password, you can make it active. So on. You can just check which all the policies you have implemented in your organization and keep a track of all the active and inactive policies in your organization. So this is how it helps. So let's next coming to the question list. So these are the question list. Question lists are important because after this you can take a assessment. You can always take a self-assessment or a third-party assessment. So to assess, you need some questions, right? So these are all the questions which you can get to answer. Like after taking the assessment, you have to answer all these questions. By answering all these questions, you get a clean picture how safe your system is. or how compliant your system is. So these are the list of questions. Like, let me quote a question for you guys. It goes like, let me quote the second question. Does your company prevent macros viruses from inadvertently being transmitted to company X machines through internet electronic mail attachments? So this is one of the question. If this question set is not enough, you can always add a question set. You can create your own questions which has to be answered. So see, you can always create your own question here. So let us move on to the next section, which is assessment. So this is where you can like find out if your system is safe or complied. Let's say I'll select the default entity for now. So let's create a parent assessment. I'll add a parent assessment saying um, remote, and I'll set a date timeline from 11th, and the end date I'll set it to 14th. So I'll consider it as a security compliance risk, and I'll click on the save button. So after doing this, I can add the parent assessment as remote. So the parent assessment has been created. After creating the parent assessment, now I need to create the child assessment. So I'll click on the add child assessment. Um, so the parent assessment is already saved as like selected as remote. The entity is selected as default. Control, the NIST A0053 AC17 remote access control teleworking is selected. The main document is access control, and the main title is also selected. Subtitle is also selected. So after that, I'll select the department. Let us consider the department as QA, and I'll take the like this is I'll do the self evaluation. So I'll just consider myself as the assessor. Reviewer, no, I don't need any reviewer for this. I'll just like assign the timeline from 11th, and the end date will be 15th. So I'll enable the recommendation. I'll submit it. So after clicking on the submit, the assessment is created. You can access this assessment and answer all the questions. After answering all the questions, the assessment status will be completed by the assessor. So once you complete the assessment, you can go on to the assessment dashboard. You can go on to the assessment dashboard. You can select the risk source as assessment. Um, I have already like answered assessment, like taken up assessment on the firewall breach. So I'll just show you that. If I select the remote, it won't show any report. Like, see, access control, it won't show any report because I've not answered any of it, and because I've not taken that assessment. So for give you guys an example, I'll select remote, I'll select firewall breach. So after clicking on the firewall breach, select the type. I'm selecting it as a risk, and I'm selecting the report category as control, or no, sorry, I'm selecting the report type as category. Select risk type, it's a security compliance risk. After that, I'll select on application security management. So see, here I can get the overall review of the security risk. It's like we can see if it's safe or not. So these are the like sections how we can know if it is safe or not. If it's red, it's critical. If it's orange, it's high. If it's yellow, it's medium. If it's blue, it's low. If it's green, it's least. You can get the overall report here. So you can always see like for example, the category was application security management, and I've assessed the assessment Shreyas Naik. So the total policies were 2 and assessed policies were 2. So you can check it here, what all the policies which has a critical, high, medium or low risk. So see, I've answered it, and only 2 policies which have low risk potential. So this is where the website helps you in accessing the risk and being compliant.